That deer with antlers is coming right at me. Sometimes a backpacker needs to get water from a very muddy lake or stream, or silty lake or stream. So the problem then is if you have water like this and you need to use your filter with this, that such silty water can actually clog your filter after a short while. So if by filter I mean something like this. This is like a Sawyer squeeze. So what you'd like to do is somehow treat this water or pre-filter it before you put it through there. And there are some things available to do that, and they are something like alum can be treated, but I recently found something called Water Wizard for river runners. And what that is it's a flocculant or coagulant. And this is the instructions for that, and you can look this up. But mainly it was put together by a gentleman, Ed Talkington is what it says here. Is a water treatment plant operator with the city of Craig, Colorado, and he's a river junkie, and he put this product together for, I think it's the Grand Canyon Private Boat Association or something like that. But what it is, it's a polyaluminum chloride. Here it is. And you get a bottle of it. It's, I think, about 50 milliliters. And the instructions say use, right here, use 1 milliliter in a 5-gallon bucket of water. So I said, well, why can't we try to use this as a backpacking for backpackers and not just river runners? So I bought some, and you can see, well, here it is. And I tested it out. So the water that you just saw that was very silty, I have treated it or something like it, and I ended up with water like this. Now, I wanted to show you how I did this. This is basically, this is before, this is after. This has not been filtered through a Sawyer squeeze, so it's not disinfected, but it has been de-silted. So looking at the 1 milliliter per 5 gallons, that's 1 milliliter per about 19.8 liters, I think. Well, I'll show the math later. And I decided to put some in a small dropper bottle. And here's the dropper bottle. These I got from Gossamer Gear, but Lightsmith and other people sell them. And I want to take or scale down treating 5 gallons to treating about 1 liter or 2 liters of water. So I took these and I measured out drop-wise, discovered that about 22, 23 drops make a milliliter. So in theory, I would use, say, 22 drops per 5 gallons or 22 drops per 19.8 liters, whatever the math is. And that actually turns out to be, I could then put a drop or 2 drops per every 2 liters, if you do the math. And that's a little bit, that's certainly ultralight. Say every time I need 2 liters of water, I only need a drop or 2 drops of this. But I took the solution in the bottle, and I diluted it with another 1 milliliter, or I put 1 milliliter in this dropper, and I added another milliliter of water. So what that means is use 2 drops per liter of water. So all that's left then is to see, how do I then do the stirring and get the flocculant out and all of that. And it turns out that what I'm going to use here is my bladder. Okay, not my bladder down in my lower abdomen, but my CNOC Vecto water bladder. I will fill this up with the dirty water. I will add, so this will be 2 liters, and I will add actually 4 drops of this solution because it's 2 drops per liter. And then I will mix it, and I will let it settle out the flocculant and stuff. But one of the tricks of mixing it is I'm going to hang this up on my bear bag line, and I'm going to take that and twist it after mixing this, and then also I'm going to pretend that this is like a tether ball, and I'm going to rock this back and forth and just let it hang, and it will hang like this down, and the flocculant will come down to the funnel part here, which I will then let the flocculant drain out, and then I will attach this to my Sawyer squeeze and filter it the rest of the way. So let's go on and set up the video to do the rest of that. Take the dirty water here, and I will just put it into the Vecto. So to do that, I actually have one of these blue couplers. There's 2 liters into the Vecto bag. And now all I have to do is put 4 drops into there. 1, 2, 3, 4 together. So here's my Vecto, and all I have to do is mix this. And this will start to flocculate this stuff in a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and hang this where that towel is, which is attached to a bear bag. Just a moment. I mean a bear line. So what I can do here is can actually just twist this up. And it would be like, suppose this was a tether ball. And I can just swing it back and forth. And as it swings back and forth, it twists around, doing its gentle mixing. And what I hope happens here is that it starts over the next 20 minutes or so. The flocculant ends up down at the bottom of this. I know that it's the flocculant is very about the same density as the water itself, so just slightly more. So it is going to go down to the bottom, but if it doesn't, I'm still going to then filter this through, in this case, I have this light load towel that I can double over and put this in line with my water filter, so that the flocculant that I don't drain off the bottom here will be caught in the fibers of the towel. So this is the bottom of the bag. About 10 minutes later, you can see the flocculant here. There is some higher up, touching the side of the bag and everything. Well, what you can do with that is, even though there's a little bit floating there, we can get it out by filtering it now through a piece of cloth or something. But if you wanted to try to sort of centrifuge this a little bit, you could actually swing this. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do here is I want to just drain off the flocculant down here at the bottom. Okay, so you see it here? And that's one of the reasons why I'm using this bladder, is that I can just loosen the cap, the mud comes out, and most of it is gone. What's left can be captured by a cloth filter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to filter this through my Sawyer squeeze right now. I'll just filter it back into this this bottle here. And in order to do that, I will take this towel here. So I had a corner already used. And I'll just double it over here. And let's see, you can't see what I did, but there's the towel. And now I will simply attach this here. So I'll go off camera for a second. This light load towel doubled over as a filter in between these two. So then I can hang it up. Like that. And the water is filtering down into the bottle there, and it is not, it's pretty clear. It's certainly not disinfected. I will have to put that through a Sawyer filter, but what you should know is that I have, looking at this, I have cleaned it up a lot, and that's going to save my Sawyer squeeze for when I do filter it from getting clogged with the mud and silt that was in the original water. To remind you, I use the Water Wizard for river runners, which says to put 1 milliliter in 5 gallons and stir it. Of course, we're not in river boats. We're not carrying around 5-gallon buckets as a backpacker. This is the bottle of this. I took 1 milliliter of this and added 1 milliliter of water, put it in an eyedropper, and that gave me a dosage of 2 drops per liter that I can use with my water bladder here. So the whole thing, if I take 2 milliliters here, that's a total of about 40 drops. And so that would allow me to treat 20 liters of water if I did the math right. So I could do more than that, but I don't expect that on any backpacking trip that I would have to treat a lot of silty water. This is only required when the water is silty. Actually, before I go, we should take a look at how much was left in the... Here's the light load towel. And you can see we captured in the towel some of the flocculant here. So that this is the minor amount of flocculant that didn't end up in the water that I'm going to put through my filter. Okay, there you go. Thanks for watching.